Did Peak Design just create the perfect backpack? We've tested a lot of backpacks, travel bags, and camera bags here at Terradrift. Like, a lot. So it takes quite a bit to impress us these days. But when Peak Design sent us an early sample of their new line of outdoor packs and slings that launch on Kickstarter this month, to say we were intrigued may have been a bit of an understatement. After all, we're pretty familiar with the brand at this point, and their tendency to design some pretty stellar gear that's intended to work in concert with a whole bunch of their other gear for what we'll call a carry system, a series of bags and accessories that are all designed to work together seamlessly as a whole integrated system of products. But they may have outdone themselves on this one. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here with just a bag or two, so get comfy because we're gonna break down what features and functionalities this new line offers, what our initial thoughts are, and whether it's worth it to back these bags on Kickstarter or pay full price when they drop at the end of this year, or possibly the beginning of next. But first, if you're not familiar with Peak Design, they're a climate-neutral certified brand that's as committed to sustainability as they are to making functional bags and accessories for outdoorsy photographers. Yes, I said photographers. Peak Design is first and foremost a brand for photographers, but they've been increasingly extending their product lines to include things like travel backpacks and phone cases that are intended to appeal to non-photographers too. And this new outdoor line is for everyone. Photographers, non-photographers, photographers who are occasionally not photographers and just travelers or hikers. I mean, these bags are designed for all of us, but yeah, photographers are still gonna be the ones who get the most giddy about the functionality, especially if they already have plenty of Peak Design gear. That's me, by the way. I have a lot. But the bottom line is, you don't have to even own a camera to find these bags useful, so keep on watching. So let's go over some of what makes up this new line. Now, this is the 25-liter outdoor backpack. There's also a 45-liter and the 7-liter outdoor sling. There's also a 2-liter. Peak Design also recently released new versions of their camera cubes and ultralight packing cubes, but we'll talk about those in a minute and why you might want to consider adding those to cart too. But let's start with the backpack and some of the standout features. Now, for starters, the whole thing is made of recycled materials and it's water resistant and PFAS free. If you're not sure what that means, we will drop a link in the description below. Now, this is just one of 3 available colors, by the way. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about here, so not sure where to start. But I guess from the top down? So the opening is a fold or sort of roll top drop in opening. It's fastened shut by a magnet, so it's super easy to open and close and just sort of flops down on itself when you release it to sort of, seal itself up. I actually really like that feature, though I do wish it had a little pull loop on both sides of the opening, not just the one. But it means no zippers to fuss with, which is cool. What there is instead to make sure everything stays secure is this self-locking pull cord attached to the outside pocket. Pull up and out on this tab to loosen, and then just pull up on the cord to tighten and lock everything down. Now, this exterior pocket functions super well as a quick stash pocket for jackets, snacks, even a bike helmet. Now, that whole top situation, I'm not saying it's going to be as secure necessarily as a zipper closure if it really gets turned upside down and knocked around and shaken up, but it does a pretty good job. And so far, I've had no issues with stuff just falling out. But moving on, we have 2 extra deep, stretchy side pockets that fit not only large water bottles, but also the Peak Design tripod, which we have and love, by the way. So yeah, the pockets on the sides are big and quite spacious, but on the downside, because they are extra tall, it is difficult to get a water bottle in and out without removing the pack. They're just too high up there. There are also 2 zipper pockets, one on each side of the front, plus a bungee key leash that you can swap to either pocket depending on which shoulder you use to, swing the bag around to get into it. It's pretty cool. Then there are these lash cords on the bottom, which you could also relocate to just about anywhere else on the bag, but we'll get to that in just a sec. They work for lashing a jacket, sleeping bag, foam Z-rest, or whatever. There are also stretchy cords that come installed on the sides of the bag and act as compression straps, so you can flatten the bag to almost nothing, but can also be moved around to anywhere on the bag. That's because this loop system is literally everywhere. Down the sides of the bag, on the front, the bottom, the back, the top, you name it, they're everywhere. Which means you can create a lash line for drying wet socks, secure extra gear, compress the bag, hang stuff from the inside of the pocket, even attach accessories like the packing cubes or outdoor sling. The possibilities are practically endless because these loops are everywhere. But I love being able to attach things whenever, wherever. My Kula cloth and extra layer, a camp mug, anything. It's all just very versatile. But let's move on to the straps, which, yes, also have that same loop system. Mostly that'll be for attaching the two removable sternum straps, which you can just clip to one side if you like, but you can also attach either an outdoor sling or ultralight packing cubes using those bungee cords or the flat hook straps, which are sold separately. That said, the chest mount functionality sounds cooler than I think it will be in practice. I mean, if I'm gonna wear an extra pouch when I'm hiking or traveling, I don't really want it on my chest. I'd much prefer it to be a totally detached hip pack because, I mean, if I'm attaching a pouch to my backpack where sternum straps might be, that means anytime I want to take my backpack off, I have to unstrap the whole pouch first. And then I have a bunch of heavy crap bouncing around just on one side of my bag and hanging off, if not precariously, then at least ridiculously, while I'm trying to take off and dig through my pack. Plus, frankly, I don't really want a bunch of weight bouncing up and down on top of my chest to begin with. It's not a configuration that most people with breasts will probably find comfortable. No, to me it makes a lot more sense to wear one of the slings or even a packing cube as a traditional hip pack using the flat hook straps. Alternatively, if you're using the hip belt with the pack, attach the cubes to that instead, which makes a lot more sense because then it's essentially a hip belt pocket. The hip belt is super easily removable, by the way, and hinges slightly for more comfortable carry. It comes with the 45 liter, but you'll have to buy the hip belt separately if you get the 25 liter pack. I'm actually a big fan of that removable versatility because just sometimes I want a hip belt and sometimes I don't. So pop it on, pop it off, you do you. Also, speaking of attachment points for accessories, if you have a Peak Designs capture clip like I do, we'll link to that review below, you can attach it through, not around, 5 different attachment points on the pack. There's an upper and lower pass-through on each shoulder strap, that makes 4, and a pass-through on the right hip belt pocket. There's also a stretchy pocket on that side if you're not using the clip, and a stretchy zipper pocket on the other side. Oh, and all the straps are made from a nice squishy and super breathable fast-drying foam. Although I will say the shoulder straps are a little bit stiff because they're so thick and a little bit wide for smaller people. It's not terrible, and hopefully that'll soften up with use, but it's something to note. The shoulder straps are fully removable and shaped kind of like running vest straps, complete with a pocket on each side, which I do appreciate as someone who doesn't really like to take off her pack to grab sunscreen or snacks unless she really needs to. Now, I mentioned the top opening, but there's another opening on the back. In fact, the entire back panel unzips and opens like a clamshell, hinging at the bottom. Now, that's where photographers and travelers alike can get excited. Because if you're packing your bag full of clothing and packing cubes, it's much easier to get to what you want via an opening nearly the same size as the bag than it is to dig down through the top. And if you're carrying camera gear, you want to be able to access all your lenses and flashes and whatnot, quickly and easily. The back panel allows that. Also on the back panel is a pocket that fits either a 15/16-inch laptop or a hydration reservoir. There's even a hose routing so you can send it out the top of the bag. Plus, see these loops here? They're attachment points for Peak Design's new camera cubes, so you can secure the cubes in place so nothing slides around or falls out. It also helps give the bag some structure when all your gear's in there. The Smedium, yes, I said Smedium, and extra small cubes both fit in the bag together. In fact, if you take out the lid insert of the extra small one and place it upright in the top of the bag, you can also use it as a grab-and-go solution for the gear you use most. Just reach down on the top and grab it. Or you can just shove a bunch of packing cubes or loose clothing or your hiking 10 essentials in there. We'll obviously put a link to a video about what the 10 essentials are below. Also, side note, the extra small camera cube also fits in the 7-liter sling, so you can use that as either a sling or waist pack to carry your camera. Well, if you're close to my size or smaller, you can't really use it as a waist pack. The strap is too long even when it's cinched down all the way. But for everybody else, it's an option. And I actually really dig this sling because it's a good size, has compression straps / bungee attachment points on the bottom, so it lays flatter when it's empty, or you can just lash an extra layer on there, and it has plenty of pockets. You can even attach a camera clip to the strap. And there are tons of interior pockets for, batteries or snacks or whatever you got. Honestly, this is going to be my new go-to sling bag for travel, so I can use it as a lightweight carry option when hiking, wandering through town, or biking with or without my camera gear. It's super versatile. I like it even better than the original Peak Design sling, which we'll link to that review below, which I've been using for years. This one is lower profile, more easily packable, and more versatile. You can even change the strap direction depending on whether you wear it over your right shoulder or your left. But back to the backpack, because all of these features, from the versatility to the pretty comfy straps to the attachment points, truly do make this bag as close to a perfect multi-use backpack, especially for photographers, as maybe we've ever tested. I mean, Peak Design thought of just about everything. It's almost a perfect marriage of streamlined versatility and functionality, and nothing seems to be lost from trying to make these bags more travel friendly. They are even designed to fit either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin, 25-liter, 45-liter respectively. They're not ultra light, but they're light. They pack down small, carry camera or hiking gear pretty dang well, are durable, and come with a lifetime warranty, which is great. Honestly, this could be my new go-to pack for the type of travel where I might sometimes have to carry my camera gear, sometimes not, and planning hikes and or city strolls. All of it. It really is that good for everything. And honestly, I can't wait to see what nonsense I managed to come up with for all these attachment points. I mean, truly, this is going to be fun. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably also dig this review of the Nemo Resolve recyclable backpack and our experiment where we went backpacking with an external frame pack, because we're insane. So go check those out, then grab your camera gear, wander on.